Good evening, Super League fans and managers. Welcome to tonight's show. Hope you're all doing well. Just nod if you can hear me, as the poet said. I hope it's all going to be fine. Um, Apologies for the slight schedule mix-up with very short notice, and no, yeah, that's just how it is sometimes. Hopefully, we'll get the show uh, over with in a decent and interesting manner. And then, as mentioned, there might be a small gap in the schedule before the next stream, but we will see how things pan out. Um, Good to see you all in the chat. Good to see everyone here. Ross is here, Dimble is here, Smuts is here. Wolfie is here, or someone with the burner account of the same name is here. So welcome everyone. Um, we'll run through a couple of the results and have a bit of a chat before we kick off the action. Get everyone a chance to join. As always, please keep me up to date in the chat if there's anything that presents a problem in terms of the sound or anything else. Then please let me know. But hopefully you can all hear and hopefully see if things are going well. Evening all, says Tato. All right, all, says Paul. Welcome, welcome. It's not a burner account. My goodness. Well, well, well. In that case, very, very welcome. Hello, Scott. We've got the table up on the screen, so we might just have a quick look at that to start us off. Hello, Mr. Edwards. Dudley Hill, top of the table. Who would have thought it? Congratulations, Steve, with that. On 11 points, shared first place with Foss Road. I believe +5 is the differentiator, which means that you're number one and Smuts is number two. We've got Northern Burn and East Coast hot on their heels. Both of those teams have lost a game, which of course is something that will happen to everyone at some point, but 100%, not 100% record, but no losses yet for Dudley or Foss Road. Haggis just with a one defeat, Badgers with two, no draws for them on 9 and 8 points respectively. Um, Under that, we've got Sloths, we've got Fulchester on 7, just outside the playoff spots. Exiles are there as well after a good result last time out. We've got Stanley Stackington, Los Santos, and down at the bottom, Sancte and the Vikings. Vikings on 1 point, hoping to do a little bit better tonight, but as mentioned in the last show, they do have a kind of a tricky fixture coming up. We shall have a look at the results. Oh, as usual, if any of you have a preference for going early or later, then please let me know in the chat and I will try to accommodate, of course. We look at last time out. The results are as follows. Dudley Hill beat Stanley 1-0. East Coast, same score against the Badgers. Exiles with an impressive performance. Early for us if possible, mate, says Duggan. Yes, we will get you on early, no problem. Foss Road drew with Stackington, Northern Burn, comprehensive 2-0 win against Fulchester, who had the keeper sent off, Sancti and Haggis 0-0 draw, and Sloss a very impressive narrow performance against Los Santos 4-1 win. I always prefer it possible, but I'm fine this week. What have you done to the kids? What have you done to the family, Smuts? No one is draining all your energy or anything like that. That's if you can stay awake, that's good. But we'll try and get you and Duggan on early as. We have a look at the fixtures. We have a look at the fixtures. We've got ship them off to Luton. Well, it's a bit cruel, isn't it? But but never mind. Badgers against Haggis, East Coast against Vikings. Vikings looking, as mentioned, for some points. They're going to be difficult to find, especially away at East Coast. Exiles, who had a good game last time out against Dudley Hill, who got that win. Ross's problem now. Fair enough. Um, Road against Sloth, we've got that one as well. I haven't seen Alf yet. He may or may not be here, but I'll try to wait until the people are in. I've seen Ian in the chat, Duggan, so we can start with Burn and Sancti if you're up for that. And we have Stackington against Stanley. Andrew says, so what have I missed? It's a long story, isn't it? I'm sure someone will be able to fill you in. But yeah, new chairman for a start. But apart from that, I'll let someone else fill you in on the details. We'll try and see if we can get this to work with Duggan first. Let's have a look. Saint Duggan. Missed you stop on the train a couple of years ago. Fair enough. Right, I'll try to focus on the game a little bit as well as following the chat. Right, tactics for Sancte. Sancte conformity, I guess that a new meta has been established, which is the one that people are conforming to or trying to follow. This will no doubt change at some point in the not too distant future, but at the moment, this is the variation of 271 that everyone is going for. Um, and not too 271y, but I guess if you're I guess if you're a Maka, you can get everything to be a 271. However, two up top with back just behind them with the arrow. Jagatos on Duff on the wings. Van Bronckhorst Hagen comes in. Panzer Hagen and Ambrosini at that DMC line. Argel and Lausen at the back, and Oliver Kahn in goal. Obviously kept a clean sheet last time out, so not looking too bad for Sancte at that end of the pitch, but they will have to score a few more goals. Never managed to get a tune out of Owen ever. Well, maybe you just gotta watch the experts and see how they do it. But we will see. Let's have a look as well. Totti's injured. That was the only other news out of Sancte. So that's how they line up against Northern Burn, who I believe are unchanged. I could be wrong, but would surprise me. They had a 2-0 comprehensive victory, as mentioned, over Fulchester, who had their keeper sent off. Dede is still unhappy, so he doesn't feature. Leon Pure is playing. Sol Campbell and Hupia has been strong in the defense so far. Patrick Vieira as well in the midfield next to Joe Cole. Kuhl and Riquelme. Riquelme has done quite well, surprisingly, in that attacking role with the arrow. Didn't expect him to be contributing quite so much, but 5 and 5 is a strong return. Up front, Insaki, similar, bad average, but good numbers. And Kuhl has done a reasonable average, but not contributed as much. But I think Ian will be relatively happy with how the season is going so far. As mentioned, it's unchanged for Northern Burn. So, without further ado, let's dive straight into the first game of the evening. It's Northern Burn at home to Sancte, and with Duggan and his boys looking for some points for not being down in the kind of boring end. Uh, be careful, the Lord does strike you down. Well, he is welcome to try. Not sure if it'll do any harm, but he's he's welcome to try. Lee Young-kyo getting involved there, trying desperately to keep his place in case Dede turns into a happy camper one day. It seems fairly even, a little bit more in favor of Northern Burn with one or two counterattacks from Sancte coming. We're nearing the half-time mark and no goals yet. And just as I say that, Kuhl, who's one of the three front men who hasn't really contributed so far this season, obviously heard the chairman complaints and has decided to make an effort and two goals just before half-time. The manager will be very pleased with that. Opposing manager will be less pleased at that being allowed with three DMCs. I think he was probably hoping for a little bit better. We will have a look at the home side first because I can guess what's going to happen. Indeed, Ian has already said as is. No fitness worries. Assists for Sol Campbell of all people and Patrick Vieira. So we won't dwell any further on that. Sancte, you've got Arik back on a 5 and everyone else on 6s and 7s. No particular fitness concerns. Anything you want to do at this stage, Duncan, then please let me know. And if not, we will roll till 60. Back for Montella, switch him with Owen and roll. We will try. Back for Montella, switch with Owen and roll. I think that's what we're going to do. Oliver Kahn will be the captain. And let's see how we go until 60. Well, absolutely nothing happened up until 60. We're on 59. Martin Lausen dropped to a 5. That's what happened. I'm not sure what happened here. Nolan Burn Tactics. There we go. Duggan says as is. Ian over on you, Ian and Mike. Ian, you've got Riquelme on a yellow and a 6. I don't know if you want to see Brosek or if you want to roll. You go as is as well. Well, you're making it easy for me tonight. Thanks very much. Half an hour left of this one. Let's see if Sancta can find a way back into this or if Northern Burn can hold on. Looks the more unlikely that Northern Burn will hold on, although Sancta had one chance going forward there and another one. Dragatas is coming forward. He is trying, but nothing happening so far. We will slow this down just for the last 5 minutes. Emerson comes forward. Duff hits the ball clear, and Khan is getting in there with a good save as well. Just a couple of minutes left to play. Campbell is unable to control the ball. Van Bronckhorst picks it up. Hupia intercepts it, and it's Northern Burn with the attack, which is overhit into Khan. Somehow Joe Cole ends up at the oh well, it's disallowed anyway. Joe Cole somehow got a chance. I think Inzaghi had it and laid it off for him, but it was ruled out for offside. That was there was one more chance, of course, in the second half on Northern Burn, but apart from that, since halftime, not a whole lot happened. Uh, Not sure it matters. The squad manager have ran out of ideas. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure you'll come up with something. Lausen and Hagen not doing a particularly fantastic job. Everyone else not terrible. There's a bunch of sevens in there. Some decent passing as well. If we look at the mass stats, it was relatively good, but just a lack of sharpness in front of goal. Look down the other end. I thought Inzaghi got the assist for that. Second goal. Oh, he did indeed. He got the assist for the goal that was ruled out for Joe Cole. Indeed. Sevens, eights, and nines, all very good for Northern Burn. No injury concerns, nothing else. Just a solid performance. Leon Pio on that eight, continuing to keep Dede out. Season doesn't start for another 20 weeks yet. Well, we'll see who will be there at that time, Smuts, of course. Dan is here. I'm not sure I've seen Jamie, but either way, we're gonna probably roll with this one. Fulchester against Los Santos. Fulchester will have a couple of unhappy players in their squad. It didn't help that they lost 4-1, of course, to Sloths last time out. Salva and Vesiuk are still injured. Kalatz is still injured, which is obviously not what the manager wanted to see. Overmars is not playing. He's sticking with the tactics to some extent, although he is going one at the back and putting an additional AMC on there, presumably in the hope of getting some more goal action and hoping that Madini by himself will be able to do the job of preventing Colchester from scoring. Um, so we will proceed there. Fulchester, who have a bit of a problem, of course, with the injured Zanetti. Serginho is out. Frey is now suspended. And there's a bunch of unhappy people for various reasons. Here is the tactical setup for Fulchester. Lucio and Materazzi at the back. Dieter is there. Litos is on the bench. I think he had a decent game recently, but not been given a starting role. Torres is on the bench, and Kenny Saris as well, covering for Dida. So Seedorf and Nielsen on the wings, Beckham and Vogel in the middle. Pretty strong Fulchester side. Smuts asked if Dan has had the full available all season. I'm not sure, but I think Dan will probably be in a better position to answer that. Meanwhile, we kick this one off and see how the first half goes as Fulchester take on Los Santos. Uh, Very positive start for Fulchester there. Some good passing. The ball ends up for Sadov, who scores, but only 6 minutes later, and Tristan has already equalized for Los Santos. The more attacking formation already delivering the goals early on for the visitors. So the manager will be pleased to see that. He will be even more pleased to see Kalushny making it 2-1 on 22 minutes, taking control of the game here with having the best of the chances, and Dida probably not covering himself in glory. I don't think there's been much more than 2 or 3 shots on target. There's the third for Pizarro, flying straight past the keeper. Los Santos 3-1 up now, and it only gets worse, or it could have. Ferguson had that one disallowed. A shocking first half for Fulchester, completely overwhelmed by the by the attacking efforts of Los Santos and the chances created. I say that it has been fairly even in terms of that, so I think Dida's probably going to take the hit for this one. We'll see if the manager's brave enough to do a swap at halftime. Whether it matters or not is a different story. Quick stop over at Los Santos to see that Nedved has an assist. He has had a good start to the season. Ebisand, who apparently can't play at AMC, is on an 8 with an assist, so he's doing relatively well. 2, there are no fitness concerns for the managers. Of course, Hopkins, if you are here, you're free to make any substitution at half time. We look over on the other side. It's Dida on a 4, unsurprisingly, perhaps even being a bit generous there. Beckham on a 6 and Elka on a 6. No fitness worries. We'll go to the tactics screen so you could see it in full there. Dan, if you want to make any changes at this point, please let me know as well. We are all waiting for your. Yes, indeed, we are all waiting for your your Dida decision. If there's anything else you want to do, then please confirm. If not, we will roll till 60. And Milk on a 6 as well. I guess. I mean, I don't know if Hopkins saw that you were playing with only one striker and thought that Maldini can do that. We'll carry on till 60 and see what happens then. Uh, Best start to the second half by Fulchester, but they haven't had a goal to show for it yet. Beckham was trying, but nothing happened so far. Lucho's down on a 6. Everyone else actually doing pretty okay, so it seems to have been pretty much the keeper's fault. The Nielsen is down to 85% as well. Um, if there's anything you want to do at that stage, play on, says the manager. So we do that. Over on the Los Santos side, everyone is at relatively good, strong fitness. Sauri is the only one who's doing slightly bad on a 6. Oh, I missed Barry Ferguson on a 6. He had the goal disallowed. I don't know if that affects his average, but that's probably what happened. We'll carry on until the end then, if there are no additional changes. Still half an hour to play, 25 minutes. So if Anelka can find his shooting boots, suddenly there's only 15 minutes to go, and now there's only 5 minutes to go. I guess we'll slow down a little bit, see if Colchester can make it exciting here. I saw a couple of chances for Anelka. Shame that he wasn't able to convert any of them. Ta'ibi with a good punch, getting his body behind the ball. Maldini, all by himself, standing down there and preventing Colchester from doing anything. Then Nielsen now with only 4 minutes to play. Lovely Fulchester move. Surely it's a consolation goal, it says there. Los Santos has conceded late in the past. Let's see if they do that tonight. They do not. It's the full-time whistle. Los Santos' fortunes change from losing 4-1 away from home. They've now won 3-2 away from home. Um, Deserved or not, I'm not entirely sure. The manager will no doubt blame his Brazilian keeper for that one, for letting those 3 early goals in. Otherwise, I think Fulchester might have been in with a shout of claiming all 3 in this one. Full-time stats for or attributes and stats for the Los Santos side. 3 losses and all the keeper's fault. Well, that's how it goes in the Super League sometimes. You're right, Dan. So yeah, overall pretty good performance from Los Santos. Probably got a little bit lucky with that first half performance from Dida. Sadov picks up the man of the match. Fogel and Anderson gets the assist. Danielson with the goal as well. I don't think the manager will care too much about that, but he will probably take a lot of positives from this because everyone's on 7, 8s, and 9s, just the keeper letting him down. So commiserations, Dan. Sometimes that's how it goes. Moving swiftly on, we have Stackington. I've never used Dida before. On this basis, I never will. I don't think a lot of people have used Dida. I believe was he not the AC Milan goalkeeper for like 10 years or something like that? Or Inter? He was in Italy. I'm sure he was somewhere and did a decent job. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the next lineup that we've got. Stackington against Stanley. I will bear with me 1 second while I do a tiny bit of admin in the background. Frey sent off last week, had to play Frey, but no better. Saviola's in there. You know, not a lot of love for Saviola. Uh, he has done okay. I think he scored already this season. Yeah. Oh, he hasn't done well, but but he has scored. Um, I will just see if I don't think I've noticed. I don't think I've noticed Mr. Alf online. I don't know if the notification went out that the show went live, but if you are there, then if you can please confirm Alf, and we will try and get the Foss Road game on. I believe it was Foss Road against Sloths, uh, but we'll see. We'll see. in his fourth or fifth team in 3 seasons. Right, okay. Anyway, back to the action. This is Saviola. This is Daggington Coilery. They are up against Stanley, Red Rose. So Ross and Mike battling it out here. Tactic wise, I struggle to keep track, but I believe that there have been some changes. Um, let's have a quick look. Oh, indeed, it was the donut last time out, wasn't it? They've now gone back to the conformity scenario here with Saviola and Comandini up front. So wholesale changes for us this evening. Apologies, I completely forgot that the massive donut did a job last time out. Surprised you didn't want to try it against Mike, but I guess he would know how to counter it if he saw it. Uh, Rinaldi, one of the few out of league signings that are have been at least named on the bench of the ones that you've made so far. Um, if you do fancy any out of league signings, I know that Tato's got someone coming in. If you do fancy anyone from the out of leagues, then do remember that you have that opportunity. And there are actually a bunch of players in the not in the league who could probably go in and at least sit on the bench somewhere. So if you are interested in screenshot anything like that, then please let me know. Anyway, that's how Stackington line up. They are up against Red Rose Stanley, who have done some minor changes again in the MC AMC role. If I remember rightly, Oliveira is coming in indeed instead of Marcelinho. That seems to be the main change. There is Scally, of course, as well. Sally Hamages, but Gary Neville, I think, is new at the back, if I remember. Indeed, coming in for Wes Brown, Beth the in goal, the captain. So solid from Stanley. They are 10th though. They've not really had the results go in their favour as much as they perhaps had in the last season. But solid team, plenty of players in there. Hargreaves, maybe we'll see him as well. Came in from the out of leagues, but is Australian. Someone had the foresight to change that. Ronaldo and Sigalco, we're still waiting to see that fully realize its potential. Maybe tonight, Stackington taking on Red Rose. Let's have a quick look at how the first half goes. Kim Kellstrom, again, I figure there's been a lot of discussion around whether he's a myth or not. Interesting to see him in the Super League, see what he can do. Probably not everyone's first choice, but Ross is definitely trying to give him a run out and see if he can deliver something for the home side. There's been a lot of action that I've struggled to keep up with. A couple of at least one penalty claim turned down, but not the greatest first half from Stackington. To be completely honest, they've won 14% of their headers, which is low. I think. Two disallowed penalties. Yeah, I noticed at least one, Mike. You're right. There were probably two. They often come in pairs. Let's have a look at the Stackington stats. That's what they look like. There's not been a lot of passing going on. The headers they've lost. Fitness is okay though. Kelso on a 5. Manager won't be too pleased with that, especially after having a relatively successful game on the old donut formation last time out. I'll leave that up just for a little bit longer, Ross, so you can have a look if you want to do anything now. You can hear the game now. Look, what I'm going to do. Indeed, indeed, indeed. For some reason, things are going to change, and there's not going to be anything that you can do about it. But you are welcome to try, of course. Neil Scally down on 72%. You might want to keep an eye on that. Maybe leave him on until 60. 6 is abundant, or at least 5 of them. 7s and 8s for Candela Butt and a couple of other guys. Mike goes as is. We'll wait and see if Ross Kim Kellstrom for Agahawa. We do that and swap with Del Piero, who is on the right hand side. Indeed, indeed. Okay, excellent, Ross. We'll see if that helps or brings you some success in the first 15 minutes of the second half. Terrible effort from Tigalco. That's not often that you see that. It does look as if there's been a bit more action coming from the Stackington team in the second half. Nicky Butt picks up a yellow. Petrov got one as well. Indeed, they have had a shot on target, so that's good. Indeed, Neil Scally. Stackington tactics. Well, it's certainly been better Ross. Can't say anything else other than that. I think in terms of your bench options, Elba is obviously there. Condition-wise, you are looking good. So that's what you have to work with at the moment. Comandini's on a 6. Elba for Comandini, please. And done. Indeed, that's what I expected. Thanks very much for confirming, Ross. We move to Mike and the Red Rose Stanley. You've got Salihamidzic on a 6, and condition-wise, Neil. Oh, and you've got Oliveira on 33% fitness and Neil Scally on 69. If you want to do something for either of those guys, then now is your chance. There are a couple of straight swaps, I guess, with Mido and with Peter Sand in there. If unless you want to try something slightly different, I'll leave you a couple of seconds or 30 to ponder, and we will see. But I'd surprised to see you leave Mido on with an arrow to SC. Indeed, he does well for Ajax in that role. Not that you're short of AMCs. Skelly Hartman stays undone. Oh, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that. Well, I guess if he picks up an injury, you can always sub him. 25 minutes to go of Stackington versus Stanley. Um, let's see if any of those substitutions result in a goal for either side. It has been relatively low on chances so far in the second half, but Sigalko and Ronaldo are still in there. They obviously can score goals. The question is, are they willing or able to do it tonight? Scally still holding up. Good news for his manager, of course. Um, Peter San, who was the guy who had the 9 man of the match, and then I think he had a 5 the game after, which was not ideal. So an obstruction by Decour and Sigalko there. Gavin Neville takes a free kick. Here comes Semak. Sigalko drives it low, but it goes wide. Difficult chance. He was being closed down by the effective Stackington defense. And I think that's how it ends. Indeed, indeed. 5 shots on goal in total out of the 10 that were attempted. Headers have evened out. Solid defensive display from Stackington. Not enough to get the 3 points, but the manager will probably be relatively pleased at the clean sheet. That was grim, wasn't it? That was a bit harsh, Tato, but indeed, it was not the most entertaining. Buffon with an 8, Kellstrom on a 5. That's probably the end of that experiment. Akahawa, Elba. I mean, there are goals. There are goals in there. They will come eventually. Del Piero had a scored one a couple of weeks ago, 1 or 2 weeks ago. So there are goals in there, and they will come, I'm sure, eventually. Over on the other side, yeah, peak season 15 Super League. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't super exciting. It wasn't super exciting, but you've gotta start the season. You need to find yourself, find your right team, find the right players, and I'm sure Ronaldo and Tsigalko will come good eventually for Stanley. Tsigalko with 5 shots, only 2 of them on target, perhaps a little bit surprising. Poor attacking effort, must try better next time. Well, it is a difficult balance to strike, as any Super League manager will tell you, between defense and attack. Good, 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 good. We have got Badgers up against Haggis next, according to the schedule. I believe unchanged for Badgers. Let's have a quick look. Indeed, unchanged they were, Tato. And yeah, 1-0 defeat at East Coast. Difficult place to go. Bit of a rivalry there, of course. And disappointing. I won't necessarily say that. I mean, as Tato said in his comments to me after the game, there's no time to panic. It was a tough one, and I think at a home game against a Haggis team that's been blowing hot and cold so far this season is not the best. Sorry, not the worst way to try and bounce back. So let's see what Badgers can do this evening up against the Haggis side, who've done a couple of changes. Tomadera is back on the bench. Obviously, some people were questioning the selection of him over Kluivert, and Kluivert is back. We have Pires moving over to the left-hand side, with Jack moving to the right-hand side. Del Vecchio stays at AMC. On the Haggis, says Andrew Richards. Well, Wolfie, we will see if the Haggis can do it. I believe that Ian is not able to join the chat this evening. but Tato is here, so we will do the normal changes, of course, as we go through the game. Badgers at home to Haggis. First half just about to kick off. We will see who can be victorious in this one. Holder with a good save early on. Here comes Giggs, moving in the other direction for Badgers, and it's Rossini who opens the scoring, and Haggis lose a goalkeeper. So that's not ideal. But they have a straight swap on the bench. I'm not going to wait for anything in terms of the confirmation of that. We'll just keep going and see if the replacement Pelizzoli, believe this is a young Roma goalkeeper, isn't it? He should be okay. Well, he isn't. Niki Pirenko with a goal, but Kloiver pulls one back for Haggis with just a couple of minutes to go until half time. There was another chance for Kluivert there, so definitely not out of it yet, Haggis. Both teams have had 4 shots, Badgers 3 on target, Haggis 2. And if we look at the Haggis stats first, everyone's on 6s and 7s. Cannavaro on an 8, the captain, doing relatively well. Pelizzoli's coming on and is on a 6. Meanwhile, over in the set, Desailly is on a 9 already. It's very good if you can reach that number at halftime. Szymkowiak and Giggs with the assists from the wings. Manager will be pleased to see that working. And Rossini and Nikiforenko with the goals, of course. No fitness concerns to speak of, I think. Tato, I will let you ponder. Assist, Cece on borrowed time. That's such a shame. I mean, look at his average. He's great. Believe. Right? And the Nikiforenko debate goes on, but it is turning slightly in the Badgers' favor in terms of contributions for the season. We can have a look at those numbers at the end of the game. We're into the second half, and it's Del Vecchio with the equaliser for Haggis. They did look dangerous just before the break, and they are continuing to look dangerous as it's Petkov who makes it 3. We're on 57 minutes. I'll let you make the substitution now. You're going to need something from Nikiforenko, I guess. Disappointing to see guys come in. Dieta down on a 6 as well down there, and CC Roberts on a 6. Will it be time for Amoroso as Badgers look for that goal? We can have a quick look here. Yeah, indeed, it's been all Haggis in the first 15 minutes of the second half. Tato, I will give you a chance to assess the situation and make any changes. Meanwhile, class, you are welcome to discuss the glory of Nikiforenko. Oh, here we go. CC for Amoroso. We do that. And Mendieta moved MC, centralize the 2 DMCs, leave the arrows on them. So that's how we do that. Let's see if in the last 33 minutes the Badgers can find a way back into this after a very impressive start to the second half by the visitors. So all the goals we didn't have in the last one. Oh, now it's Rayad time. It's got to be Rayad time, hasn't it? Szymkowiak picks up an injury on 67 minutes. I was just about to say all the goals we didn't have in the last game. They seem to have come in this one. Toldo down on a 6. David's at DMC Tato after the grief you gave me. Rayad, please. We'll bring on Rayad. I thought this one. Uh, see how it goes. See how it goes. Bit of a joker card, wild card, Rayad coming in on that right hand side. We'll see if that works out for Badgers. Kloiver definitely trying his best to prove his manager wrong. Still looking fairly even, although with a few more chances. I was trying to slow down there. A few more chances to Haggis perhaps still. Late corner kick there, but it's Cannavaro who clears it. And Mike is going forward again. Pires brings it forward. Here comes Kluivert. Okronko fouled him, I think. Petkov takes the free kick. Toldo collects the ball low. And there goes the final whistle. No time to panic yet, said the manager prior to this game. But the champions have been inflicted a defeat here by Haggis, who had a wonderful start to the second half, which kind of like sealed the deal, really. Badgers had nothing since the 45-minute mark, and the manager will definitely not be happy with that. So as we all conform around the around a similar tactic, then things do happen. Of course, there were some changes for the Badgers there, but it didn't seem to have the desired effect. Quick look at the Hackey stats: sixes, sevens, eights, nothing too impressive, and only one assist as well. So kind of a maybe fluky, but Haggis certainly seem to deserve it on balance in terms of chances. We look down the other end. Klump is on a 9. Desailly is still on a 9. Assist for Giggs and Simkovic. We've already seen all of this. Quick look at Nikiforenko. His contributions they've been very good this season. Manager will be pleased with that. He won't be too pleased with the defensive display and letting Haggis get 3 in this one. So tough night for the reigning champions, and a good night for the Haggis visitors. Moving on swiftly, we have our next game of the evening, which is Atletico Exiles, under the guidance of Neil, who had a great game last time out. Let's have a look at the tactics. I can't for the life of me remember if he made any changes, but probably not. Um, if if it's wrong, then that's how it is. But don't I don't think so. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the Melito injury 10 days back with a calf strain. And let's have a quick look at their opponents, Dudley Hill, who I think were forced into a couple of changes, if I'm not mistaken. We have Montero out with an injury, Chris Perry's out with an injury, Paredes is out with an injury, and of course, Andres de Alessandro is out with an injury. The last one probably the let's say the smallest loss. The other guys have all featured so far this season, so. Kind of a tough one for Stee and the boys, but they will be no doubt looking to the relying on the depth that they have in the squad there. John Terry and Lasisi um, definitely not bad players in those positions. Addo as well, Mark Kerr and Mark van Bommel, double mark there in midfield. Collins, good start to the season. Can't say fairer than that when you're top of the table. But it's going to be tricky against Exiles, I think, who had a pretty good game last time out. Collins at AMC is a pure goal scorer. Yeah, I think you are preaching to the converted there, Wolfie. But indeed, he certainly is. Not always been loved in the Super League, but he has been doing a pretty decent job so far for Dudley Hill. A couple of goals there and an assist, a man of the match award as well. We shall roll with Exiles against Dudley Hill and see how this one goes. Coventry Speed picking up again, and Charlie Chaos getting involved early doors for Exiles. That's not something that any opposing manager wants to see. These kind of slightly unknown players that for some reason seem to do very very well. It's been probably a little bit in Exiles' favor so far. The first half, they've probably had the largest amount of chances, I would say. Um, but so far, no goals in this one. Coming up to half time, there we go. Exiles completely in control, more or less. 4 shots, 1 on target. Now from Dudley Hill. Exile stats are as follows: sixes and sevens. Always throws me a little bit, Constanzo, with that 100% in the middle. Well, yeah, it was completely uninteresting to be honest, and I don't have anything to say about Dudley really either. I will I'll leave it to the managers to see. I'm not sure if I've seen Steve Niels' role, and over on the other side we have sixes and sevens. Oh, you're there, Steve. Okay, good, good, good. Apologies, I missed you earlier. We roll till 60 and see how it goes. Vegas, of course, did very well in the first couple of minutes in the second half, and Dudley has done the same. Collins with the goal here, putting Dudley Hill 1-0 up as we move up to 60 minutes. There are your numbers, Neil. Sixes and sevens, as mentioned. Condition is looking very good, apart from Figo, who's dropped down to 82. Vicente and Klimovic, the obvious attacking options on the bench. Meanwhile, over on the Dudley Hill camp, there's still sixes around for everyone. Roberto Carlos now up to an 8. Probably got the assist. Let's have a quick look. No, it was Kieran Dyer actually who got the assist. Fitness-wise, you have no concerns, Steve. So if either manager could let me know if they want to make any changes, I'm happy to jump backwards and forwards to your screens if there's anything else that you want to see. Steve wants to leave it, understandably so, with that early goal, early in the second half anyway. And Neil, if there's anything you want to do, anything you are pondering in terms of tactical or personnel changes, then now is the time to share. Sir Roberto, I feel like I haven't seen a lot of Sir Roberto. Is that my imagination? I haven't seen a lot of him. Would expect some assist probably. Cordoba off for Klimovic. That sounds like one at the back. Front three of Raul, Klimovic, and Vieri. Uh, uh, right. Okay. Apologies. I will be slow here. Front three of Cordoba for Klimovic. Front three of Raul, Bobobom, Klimovic, and Vieira. Take off Santos. We do that for Vicente. Move him to left AMC. No, I was on DNC. I was on both of those. Uh-huh. 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 Please confirm if this is what we're doing. I think so. If anyone in the chat has seen any issues with this, then let me know. Niels is lovely. So we roll half an hour left of a very attacking football from the Exiles. Let's see if uh, they'll have the desired effect. I feel like four up top, like four across the top, might be the way to go. But yeah, nothing to lose for Exiles as we try to get towards 90 minutes here, see if they can do anything. Oh, it didn't have the desired effect. Tony's there immediately to take advantage on the counter, put Dudley Hill 2-0 up. 15 minutes to go, and still pretty much all Dudley Hill. Does not seem to have had the desired effect at all for Exiles, unfortunately. A couple of minutes left. We'll just slow it down here for the added time. But again, it's Dudley Hill with the chances, and we roll up until 95 minutes, and that's going to be it. Can't blame a manager who tries or puts the effort in to throw 5 man up top. Didn't have the desired effect, unfortunately, for the Exiles. But there's an 8 for Charlie Chaos, 6s and 7s for everyone else. Over at the Dudley side, assist for David Collins as well as a goal, and Kieran Dyer gets an assist. Luca Toni gets a goal. Roberto Carlos somehow manages to get man of the match based on pretty much nothing. So that's always something. But but I guess his manager's more interested in the 3 points and the big chance to stay top of the table, of course. So good night of works for Dudley, especially with the injuries they've got. I think Lassisi on a 6 will be slightly disappointing from the manager's perspective, but it's a clean sheet. There's nothing really to argue with there. Apologies. We move on. We have East Coast now up against Vikings. So Dimple and Paul, thank you for your patience. Yes, we definitely, even on paper, was laughing at Southampton dig. Oh yeah, there was real football as well. Yeah, indeed, Southampton did something and Leeds did something else, which wasn't as good. So therefore, Southampton are now back in the Premier League. Indeed, indeed. From memory, East Coast are unchanged from that win against the Badgers. They have got Viduka at their disposal. He's unhappy because Manny doesn't like him. They have a Gat on the right hand side who has been doing pretty well. And yeah, overall, a decent ish uh, start to the season, I guess, for East Coast. They didn't get off to the start that the manager wanted, but that win against the Badgers certainly put the wind back in their sails. They're up against Vikings tonight, who were obviously looking for anything that can take them off the bottom. So far, stuck on the 1 point. One piece of good news for the Vikings was that Thierry Henry was able to score last time out, so the manager will take some hope from that. They don't have any injuries. Everyone is at their disposal. Patrick Pauve is in there as well, who could play. They have a lot of talent in there to throw on if they need it and to try different things. What they're going to do this time is that they are not going to put an arrow on Simeone. He just plays in central midfield with Sorczynski, so those three DMCs are covering that. Then they've got Hersi and Aymar up front, short arrows on Baumann and Cafu, and they're probably going to hope for that being enough. Ferdinand and Yepes down there can't be too attacking against East Coast, obviously. We'll see how it goes for the Vikings as they take on East Coast at their place. Let's have a look as we kick off the first half. All right, couple of chances for Vikings early there, but no goals for them, and it's Robin on the counter for East Coast that puts them 1-0 up. Um, Continues to be mostly East Coast as we hit the half-hour mark. Vikings occasionally have the ball, but they they have struggled to create anything. And it's Constantino who makes it 2-0 for East Coast. But there is Thierry Henry. That is what the manager was looking for. The defensive issues can probably be fixed, but he needs Henry scoring. And there is Hersey as well chipping in. That's 2 goals for the Vikings now. East Coast thought that that was in the bag probably, and maybe it is because here it's the third for the home side, 3-2 up. What a first half that we've had here. Paul says not looking forward to this. You've scored 2 goals, so that's good. Um, Unfortunately, you've always also conceded 3, which is perhaps not ideal. East Coast keeper not covering himself in glory. Um, Dimple says he doesn't like it. Presumably, he doesn't like his keeper letting 2 goals in from 2 shots. Not ideal from an East Coast perspective at all, but an entertaining first half nonetheless. Fabian Barthez are surprisingly down on a 6. Everyone else doing a spectacular job, especially Ian Robin on a 9. Gat as well, as I mentioned earlier, has had a decent season so far. He's got an assist as well as Kowalczyk. We have a look at the condition as well. Everyone is on 90. Dimple, if there's anything you want to do at this stage, please feel free to let me know. We look at Vikings who had um, probably the manager will have mixed feelings about that first half. He will not be happy with the way things are going in terms of the game, but it's a very tough place to come. He does have 2 goals, which has not been part of the course so far for the Vikings. Thierry Henry getting one of them, and Yusuf Hersi with the other one. If we look at the condition, everyone is doing fine. Dimple says, as is. Paul, if you want to change anything at this stage, then please let me know. You have Aymar on a 6, Jeremy's on a 6, Simeone on a 6, Yepes on a 6, Cafu on a 6 as well. Patsasoglu, Arglu, Arca, and It's the Berea on the bench are your options. I'll leave you a bit of time to ponder that before we kick off until 60. A goal scorer like Thierry Henry. I think a lot of managers were probably maybe surprised to see him score so many goals as he did last season, but they'd probably be more than happy to have someone as effective as that in the squad. And I think that's got to be his second or third so far this season. I think it was even dropped last time out, maybe, but we will see. We'll see what Paul does, if anything, here at halftime in terms of tactics. Meanwhile, we'll just have a quick look at the. Oh, there we go. It's the Berea for Aymar, has his central with arrow. Okie dokie. Aymar off for It's the Berea, and I guess it's going to be like this. Brave decision from manager. 2 up top. Obviously, he smells blood. He sees Barthez is not having the greatest day. So maybe they can squeeze something here. Maybe they can sneak a quick goal early on in the second half. Let's see. Let's restart it and see if Vikings can find a way back into this or if East Coast can hold on. Um, Exciting starts to the second half in the last 2 games, and it seems to be similar here. Thierry Henry was involved. Yusuf Hersi is involved. East Coast have had a chance as well. Constantino getting involved. Gattuso is there. See Ronaldinho's name popping up a fair amount as well. I believe it was. Um, action packed Action-packed start to the second half. Chances for both sides. Dimple, this is what it looks like for you. Condition-wise, you're doing great, and match rating-wise, you're doing great as well. If against the odds you would like to make a substitution, please confirm. If not, as is will also do. Paul, look as if you can find a way back into this. Certainly, the chances that you have made, changes that you've made, seem to have done something already. If you want to do anything else, please confirm. If not, let me know if we can roll. Dimple is going to make no changes as expected. Paul, if there is anything, any last roll of the dice that you want to make, then please let me know. Sisoklu and Arca, perhaps not perhaps not the options that you want when you're chasing the game. I'm not sure what they can bring constructively that you don't already have on the pitch. But I will wait for your confirmation. Paul says, as is. Indeed, let's see if we can continue the entertainment with the last 33 minutes of the second half. Certainly chances. I mean, Vikings keep coming forward. They just haven't found the back of the net yet. But then is East Coast with a counter getting chances as well. I mean, there's end-to-end action here for both sides. And there is Hersey with the equalizer. There's still 18 minutes to play, 5 minutes to play now. Somehow there's a great big stop there. Kiotis with the save for Vikings. Jeremy's with the through ball, but Bartes comes out and collects it. Things seem to have slowed down a little bit now. Players run out of breath. But there's a corner for East Coast here. Boyer takes it. Kiotis punches it clear, and there goes the final whistle. Great comeback there from the Vikings. Solid changes made by the manager at halftime and proved effective against an East Coast side who will probably feel a little bit as if they have thrown away 3 points here. They were 2-0 up and 3-2 up, and then yeah, you end up with a point and conceding 3 goals. It's going to look a little bit so on your record. Manager won't be too happy with that, especially as if it seems as if they controlled the game and Bartes could perhaps have done a little bit better keeping the opponents at bay. It certainly doesn't seem to be anyone else's fault really, but overall a decent performance from everyone apart from the keeper, but kind of similar to the Dida performance, if not as bad, that we saw earlier this evening. Hesse, unsurprisingly, man of the match. Baumer gets the assist. Aymar got an assist before he was pulled off, and Sorchinski with the final assist. Thierry Henry, as mentioned, back in the goals. Manager will be happy with that. And although it probably doesn't change his position at the bottom of the table, I think Paul will take great pleasure from playing a game with a getting a result, getting a point away against a strong side like East Coast. So well done to Paul. Congratulations on the comeback. And Hersey seems to like that central role with the arrow. Maybe something to put in the notebook for the future. That leaves us with Foss Road against the Sloths. I haven't seen Alf around, but I will leave it a little bit when we get to the breaks if he is indeed here. And Smuts, you are of course here. Tactics wise, I believe you're unchanged. So good for you. Steve already won this evening. If you want to keep the presser up, you know what to do. I think there was one goal in it in terms of goal difference. So a 2-0 victory would put you 3-0 victory would put you back on the top of the table with goals scored, I believe. We'll see how that goes up against the Sloths. Over on the Sloth side, we've got Brooking injured. Jaap Stam is still injured. He has got a few days left, so whoever's playing Sloths next will probably face Jaap Stam. I think the manager's looking forward to that. Ronnie Johnson comes in at DMC as well. Petit and Makelele, the defensive midfielders next to Fiore. In central midfield, he sticks with the formation of the front four with the diagonal arrows on Keane and Franca, Smith and Shearer up top. No chance. The meta will break. The meta breaking central tactic will tear me apart, I'm sure. Well, the donut, which is the opposite, seems to have a similar effect. So, so what is it? What is it that works? Is it narrow or wide? What is the true meta here? What is the true meta? That's what we all want to know. Is it 4-4-2? Who knows? We proceed to the match, Foss Road against the Sloths. I'll come back to that at the end, the tactics. I have a there is a tactic that I really want that always annoys the hell out of me when they when I play it in the home saves, and I really want to see someone use it in the Super League. It's the one with the DMs with the MCs, I think they are, with kind of like strange like diagonal backwards arrows and things like that. Well, I'll maybe post it on a tweet. We kick off Foss Road against the Sloths and stop blabbering so much. First half, let's see if Sloth can continue their goal scoring form from last time out. They've certainly had a bunch of chances in the first 2 or 3 minutes. It seems as if Foss Road are holding, the defense is holding um, just about, but my goodness, they aren't doing what they can to dominate this one, the Sloths. 20 minutes and no goals, and you don't want to be in that situation where you've dominated a game and you haven't got anything to show for it. That's usually bad news. As Foss Road starting to come forward, and if Rupulos makes a save, I don't know if that was his first of the game, but I haven't seen his name come up a lot, so I do think so. Nick Machulin, I've seen his name a lot more when Sloss have come forward. Still goalless. Sambrata punches Alan Shearer in the face. I mean, I can't blame him, but probably not the best thing to do. Over to you, Smots. It's time for your expertise to do something here. I believe that regardless of what you do in the Super League, I think it's only a one game ban, but we will see. We will see. Quick punch in Alan Shearer's face, and Foss Road are down to 10. Plenty of options here, of course. Drag Van der Vaart inside next to Veron. Centralized, presumably. Oh, why is it not? Ah, there we go. It's the narrow against the narrow. Anything else? Or we run like this? I don't think I've seen that before. I don't think I've seen two MCs centralized with DMCs with arrows into the same positions. That could be interesting. Certainly a battle of the narrows here. 10 minutes to go until halftime. Intriguing encounter this one. And we reach halftime without. Oh my goodness! Oh, he stumbled upon some. Well, he hasn't stumbled because it's the sixth iteration of the same tactic, so it's probably deliberate. I've not seen Alpha Bout, which is a shame. He should really be here to enjoy his team's efforts. I'll bring up the screen here. It's not that they've played well, to be completely honest. It's mainly sixes and sevens. Ronnie J on an eight, very well done, Ronnie. And Alan Shearer, the captain, on a seven. Let's just double check that that was a punch to the face. Um, I but it was a headbutt. Okay, yeah, punch headbutt. It's all good. It's all good. That's how it looks for the sloths in terms of condition. Alf, if you're watching this back, this is how your guys were doing at half time. Uh, Over to Smots. Roy Keane's on a nine. You've got better numbers out of some of your players here, but Crespo and Ortega, uh, they've not they've not done well. I'll be honest with you. They've not done well so far. I'll leave you to ponder and let me know if you want to make any changes or if you prefer to roll until 60. Diagonal arrows on Cambiaso and Jera to the wings. Arrow on AMC and both MCs. Definitely going for it here. 6 game ban incoming. I doubt it. I think they all won games, regardless of what they do here. But it's a fair point, Mike. Maybe you're right. I don't remember headbutting in the Super League much in the past, but we'll see. Roy Keane red incoming. Yeah, it could be. Could be. But let's see. You don't have Brooking to deal with. That's probably why it's still no arrow on Ortega. Oh, I do apologize. Arrow to AMC on both MCs. Aha, I get it. Good. Okay, we roll till 60 and we see if Foss Road can find a way back into this. Maybe he'll put the arrow on. Maybe put the arrow on 60 minutes. Let's see how it goes. Yellow card for Ronnie Johnson. There's a lot of players in that slot side on a no red card for Roy Keane, but a career-ending injury. Maybe Roy Keane either sees red or gets an H. Nowhere in between. Well, he does get an 8 because he's injured, so that's not going to change. I believe, yeah, Hubu would be a straight swap. Let me know if you want to do anything else. Smuts. We'll treat this as your 60 as well, so any other changes, you can make them now as well. You ever seen more than a one game of a red card? Yeah, I think you're right, Steve. I think it is one game ban, regardless of what they get up to. I've not seen any referee punching, which is normally like a 90 or 180-day ban. Uh, yeah, Kubo straight swap, Alex for Ortega. Roy Keane goes off, and Alex for Ortega. Right. Well, hopefully you won't get any more injuries. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of an issue, I believe. Um, Over on Sloths, there was a bunch of stuff happening there. If you want to set a different captain than Lily and Turam, then please let me know. Over at Sloth, Southgate's on a 5, everyone's on a yellow. They are not playing particularly well, but they are holding on to the lead. Foss Road have had a chance here in the second half, so maybe there's a way back with down to 10 men. Who knows? Who knows? Plus, are obviously missing Brooking, who I believe is a talisman for the club. But BDV captain, please, but not the end of the world. Nah, yeah, but I already gave one of you players the wrong number, so we can give Ravel van der Vaart the captaincy. Right, we roll until the end of the game. We see if anyone can find a winner of this one. 0-0, but it's anything but boring. The band's given out for playing, giving rude gestures to the crowd, which was caught on camera. Very strange. Falcao does that. If you pick him up and he gets good and you play him in a decent league, he often gets that. Um, I've got two players out for 3 and 6 games respectively for Yeovil. Indeed, in a bunch of the leagues, you get a ton of stuff. I think in the Dutch league, they hand out bans like petty sweets. It's kind of crazy. I think 3 yellow cards in the Danish league gives you like some points and then you're suspended. Anyway, I digress. Um, we roll with this one. Uh, I meant to not do that. I meant to change this pace because nothing happened. 3 minutes of added time is available if either side wants to make an attempt at scoring a goal. There's a penalty claim turned down for Sloss. That's going to be disappointing for them. Franke with a fierce shot. Fiore can't miss. It looks as if Sloss have found a late winner here. No, they have not. It was ruled out for offside. Alan Smith was standing around being a bit of a numpty and cutting his team 2 points potentially there. There's another free kick. The wall deflects the shot. No goal. Here comes Cambiaso. Is he going to be? No, he's not because Franca trips him. He is not going to seal the deal. Oh, Cambiaso comes again, but a left Rapulo saves it, and we go to the final whistle. Exciting stuff, 0-0. As 0-0 games go, that was interesting. Slots did not play well, I will be honest. Taribo West and Ronnie Johnson, 8 for them. Ah, Fiora with 8 completed passes out of 20 in a central midfield role. That ain't gonna fly if it was me. But anyway, we'll see what Alf says to that when he watches this. He'll take the point, but he'll be probably disappointed not to have picked up all three. Down the other end of the pitch, Esteban Cambiaso, what a performance from him. Solid 9, involved in everything. And I think, given the red card, the injury to a key player, I think Smuts will be fairly pleased. I'll take that and run, he says. Well, indeed, indeed, indeed. Uh, that's not a bad result given the circumstances and the amount of chances that either side had. Draw specialist these days. Right. Okay, so there were some games without a lot of goals, and then there were some games with a couple of goals, and then there were some very entertaining games. We had Badgers who lost their lead and lost the game against Haggis. East Coast, who Vikings came from behind twice. They're now up to 13th after that Sancte defeat. Exiles, who despite their attacking efforts, lost 2-0 to Dudley Hill, who take first place by themselves as Foss Road drew 0-0 with Sloss, which means that they lose their second place to Northern Burn, who beats Sancte, of course. Big win for Los Santos away to Fulchester. Fulchester not happy. Dan blaming goalkeepers. I notice transfer news popping up on my Twitter account in the background. And finally, we had Stackington against Stanley. That was a nil-nil. We have a quick look at the table. 14, 13, 12, and 11. The first four teams, Foss Road and Dudley Hill, still unbeaten. Yeah, they obviously um, in good form. Dudley Hill, Foss Road, a little bit lucky maybe to get the draw there, but they've done pretty well. Northern Burn back to their normal cup form, although with a completely new lineup. Haggis after that win, moving up a bit, I think from whatever they were at, sixth or seventh before. East Coast are in there with that 3-3 draw. Badgers, the reigning champions, now with 3 defeats already after 6 games, are down in sixth place. Sloths could have moved up with 2 points. They would have been in there instead of Badgers, but they didn't get them. So they're down here with Colchester, with Exiles, with Stanley. Los Santos now on 6 points, Stackington on 4. Vikings, by virtue of a better goal difference, are in 13th in front of Sancte. We move on to the fixtures. Next week, big game for East Coast as they travel to Dudley Hill. Dudley Hill looking to cement that first place spot. Haggis up against Northern Burn. The top teams playing each other here. Los Santos at home after that win, they take on Badgers. That's going to be a tricky one. If to see if let's see if Jamie continues to go one at the back against the Badgers. That would be brave. They do play with two strikers, so probably he won't. We have Sancte against Foss Road. I mean, with 2 goals and the same amount of points, I believe Sancte are not off to a great start. Foss Road probably not who they wanted to play, but they will be without um, whoever he was that got Sambrotta, who got sent off, and potentially without Roy Keane as well. So maybe there will be a chance for Sancte there. Sloths take on Exiles, an interesting matchup there with an hour of Sloths against the creativity of the Exiles. We've got Stanley against Colchester. Let's see who they will have in goal for this one. And finally, we've got Vikings at home against Stackington. No disrespect to Stackington at all here. They are a very, very strong defensive side. But I think what Vikings really wanted now is a not super difficult home game. And that's exactly what they've got. So Paul will be pleased with that. Packs will be created later this evening. Um, as mentioned, I'm not sure when the next round of fixtures will be. I will let you know as soon as I know. You will be you will be informed. I hope you enjoyed this evening's entertainment. As mentioned, there will be player stats, etc., shared on the Twitter as well. And we'll hopefully do some co-coms and things like that once everything's settled down a little bit and get the show back to a little bit more of a standard format, standard days, etc. So appreciate your patience during this time. I do have some personal things that I need to take care of, requiring traveling and no laptop, etc. So without too much sort of nonsense. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Someone please try and find that annoying tactic with all the backwards diagonal arrows, and we'll see if we can get someone to play it. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everyone, and yeah, see you in the next episode of the Super League Game Week 7, whenever it will be. Thank